image from the James Webb Telescope to mark 1 year since it started sending us images from deep space.
The revelation came during an unexpected but electrifying moment. Elon Musk, known as much for his audacious visions of the future as for his involvement in reshaping space exploration, stood before a hushed audience and spoke words that echoed across the scientific community like a seismic wave. The James Webb Space Telescope, humanity's most advanced eye on the cosmos, had uncovered something so unprecedented, so outlandish that it seemed to strain the very fabric of known physics. The discovery wasn't just a curious anomaly or a distant galaxy behaving strangely. It was something that struck at the heart of the fundamental laws that have governed modern science for over a century. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The James Webb Space Telescope, often referred to as the JWST, has been orbiting the second Lagrange point for years, sending back data with unmatched clarity. Its infrared instruments pierce through cosmic dust, illuminating regions of the universe previously hidden from view. Astronomers and physicists had anticipated that it might refine current theories or confirm long-standing suspicions about the early universe. No one expected it to destabilize the foundations of modern cosmology. What Musk revealed was nothing short of cosmic heresy, an object or perhaps a structure located at the furthest observable edges of the universe behaving in a way that contradicted everything from general relativity to quantum field theory. The JWST had been studying a region of space more than 13.5 billion light-years away, a zone near the supposed edge of the cosmic microwave background. Within this region, the telescope captured an object whose mass, size, and gravitational influence made no sense. It appeared to be older than the universe itself, or at least older than the Big Bang should have allowed. Even more perplexing, its light signature wasn't redshifted in the way it should be for such a distant body. Instead, it oscillated with frequencies that defied the standard Doppler effect. Time appeared to flow differently in the vicinity of this object, as if the laws of entropy had reversed or suspended themselves entirely. The implications were immediate and staggering. If the object existed before the Big Bang, then the notion of a singular origin point for the universe needed re-evaluation. The possibility arose that the Big Bang was not the beginning of everything, but merely a localized event, a transition point in a much larger and more complex multiversal tapestry. This discovery forced physicists to re-examine long-held assumptions. Could time itself be emergent and localized, varying across regions of space-time? Was gravity not a universal force, but a byproduct of some deeper, yet undiscovered dimensional mechanics? Musk, clearly animated by the enormity of what he was describing, didn't dwell on the theoretical implications. Instead, he focused on what it meant for humanity's understanding of existence. He painted a picture of a universe that wasn't a singular expanding balloon, but rather a pulsing, multi-dimensional lattice, where what we perceive as reality is only a cross-section of something far more intricate. The JWST's data seem to support a notion that reality might be fractal in nature, patterns repeating at both cosmic and quantum scales, governed by a set of meta-laws outside of our current scientific framework. The object, which the Webb team informally dubbed Kronos anomaly, displayed properties that mocked traditional physics. It exhibited a form of gravitational lensing, but not in any way predicted by Einstein. Instead of bending light smoothly around it, as massive objects do, Kronos fractured it into patterns that resembled quantum interference, a cosmic-scale double-slit experiment unfolding in real time. Light that passed near it split into multiple temporal paths, arriving at JWST's sensors as overlapping signals that contradicted the linear flow of time. Some researchers began to speculate that Kronos wasn't merely a relic of a previous universe, but a kind of bridge, or a scar, left by the collision of universes. In this view, what Webb observed wasn't an object in our universe at all, but the residual echo of another universe bleeding into ours, distorting time and space at the intersection. If true, this would validate some of the more extreme versions of string theory and M-theory, which posit the existence of multiple dimensions and parallel realities interacting through complex, hidden geometries. The composition of Kronos was equally baffling. Spectroscopic analysis suggested the presence of elements not found on the periodic table, super heavy atoms with decay rates that implied entirely new forces at play. Moreover, these atoms emitted radiation in spectra that didn't match any known quantum transitions. They appeared stable in configurations that quantum chromodynamics deemed impossible. This discovery alone could open up pathways to new materials, new energy sources, and new understandings of atomic cohesion. Adding further complexity, the magnetic field around Kronos was irregular and reactive. It pulsed in sync with gravitational waves. Not just any waves, but highly directional, high-frequency ripples that should not have existed in that region of space, especially not with such precision. These waves interfered with the JWST's instruments, causing feedback loops and temporal data delays. Some signals even appeared to arrive before they were transmitted, a clear violation of causality as we understand it. Musk explained that the anomalies weren't limited to distant observations. When Webb focused on Kronos for extended periods, sensors on board experienced subtle deviations. Clocks on board registered inconsistencies, hinting that time dilation wasn't just theoretical in this region, it was a lived phenomenon. Instruments would age at slightly different rates, a kind of relativistic stress that defied current models. One internal clock even reversed momentarily during one session, its logs showing negative time passage, an impossibility under all known frameworks. Despite these technical nightmares, the Webb team persisted. Each round of data returned further evidence that Kronos wasn't a conventional astronomical object, but something more profound. Musk compared it to a Rosetta Stone, an artifact embedded in the cosmos that demanded to be decoded, not for what it was, but for what it implied. He mused on the possibility that Kronos was left deliberately, not by natural processes, but by intelligence. Perhaps not intelligence in the anthropomorphic sense, but a form of consciousness embedded into the fabric of reality itself. A system designed to evolve, test, and eventually trigger self-awareness within the universe. This suggestion, though speculative, wasn't without precedent. Theoretical physicists have long toyed with the idea of the universe as a simulation, a construct, or a hologram. Kronos, in its refusal to obey the rules, offered the strongest evidence yet that our cosmos is not the sterile mechanistic machine once imagined, but a dynamic and responsive system. It may not be alive in the way organisms are, but it may possess emergent properties, feedback loops that allow it to modify its behavior based on internal conditions. If the universe can encode such anomalies, then the scope of potential communication changes drastically. Musk posed the question, what if this object was a form of message? A beacon not in the traditional sense, but a puzzle meant to be solved, a physics-defying sculpture written in space-time to nudge intelligent species toward a deeper understanding. The philosophical implications are as staggering as the scientific ones. Humanity may not just be mapping the universe, it may be engaged in a dialogue with it. This discovery also raised urgent questions about the role of time. If Kronos truly exists outside conventional time or manipulates it in ways we cannot yet fully comprehend, then everything from causality to thermodynamics needs reassessment. It forces a reevaluation of entropy, a cornerstone of physical law. Entropy, the measure of disorder, always increases in isolated systems, or so it's believed. But if Kronos violates this rule, then perhaps disorder isn't the inevitable fate of the universe. Perhaps it's merely one phase, and order can reassert itself under specific conditions. This concept, once relegated to science fiction, now sits at the fringes of hard astrophysics. The presence of this object, older than light itself, suggests a pre-universe, a realm before the Big Bang. Scientists have long suspected that the Big Bang wasn't an absolute beginning, but a transition point. Now they may have proof. Kronos, then, may be a remnant of what came before, a seed from a universe with different constants, different rules, and different possibilities. The data suggests that its mass and energy signatures don't align with the Planck epoch, the first sliver of time after the Big Bang. Instead, they point to something more ancient, more primordial, a framework that predates the quantum foam itself. This shakes the standard cosmological model at its core. Inflation theory, dark energy, even the Hubble constant may have to be revised or discarded. The laws we consider universal may be merely local ordinances of a much broader legal system. In this context, the observable universe is not the totality of existence, but a bubble in a boundless ocean of realities, each operating under its own principles. Kronos, by breaching our bubble, shows us that cosmic borders are not impermeable. The broader implications extend to technology, energy, and the long-term aspirations of spacefaring civilizations. If Kronos operates by physics we do not yet understand, then harnessing even a fraction of its principles could revolutionize propulsion, computation, and material science. The possibility of FTL faster than light travel, once dismissed outright by the speed limit imposed by relativity, might now be revisited. If Kronos affects time and space themselves, then it may provide a natural template for manipulating space-time without catastrophic energy requirements. What this discovery ultimately suggests is that we are infants in a vast cosmic archive, fumbling to decipher symbols left behind by forces or phenomena far older than we imagine. The James Webb Space Telescope, designed to peer into the past, may have stumbled onto the future, not ours, but that of the universe itself. By revealing something that shouldn't exist, it has shown us that the boundaries we accept are at best provisional. As the data continues to pour in and physicists race to develop models that can accommodate the impossibilities presented by Kronos, one thing is certain: nothing will be the same. The universe just got bigger, stranger, and more beautiful. It remains silent, vast, and indifferent, but also perhaps filled with whispers in the static. If only we learn how to listen. The discovery isn't just a scientific milestone, it is a turning point in human consciousness. Not because it gives us answers, but because it forces us to ask questions we never thought to pose. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on JWST's terrifying discovery? What do you expect next? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.